The one thing that always amazes me about the Public Enemies era is everybody was so young. What's up, guys? Welcome to Movie and Point. It's a movie review of The Highwaymen, the newest Netflix original movie that's directed by John Lee Hancock, written by John Fusco. It stars Kevin Costner as Frank Hamer, Woody Harrelson as Manny Galt, Kathy Bates as Ma Ferguson, and John Carroll Lynch as Lee Simmons. So this is a true story. It's the story of Frank Hamer and Manny Galt, who were involved with the tracking down and eventual killing of Bonnie and Clyde. And this era, the Public Enemies slash Prohibition slash Depression era, is a really fascinating era in American history because it's an era where true crime really took its place. It's the idea of mythological humans, mythological characters, Bonnie and Clyde and the John Dillinger and Pretty Boy Floyd and Al Capone. The people that were downtrodden really kind of looked up to these people because they were the ones that were like the Supermans or the Batmans. They were like the people that you always heard about and just did things that went beyond the law. Yeah, they were not good people. They killed a lot of people, especially police officers and lawmen. And so Ma Ferguson, who is played by Kathy Bates, is a real life figure. She was the governor of Texas. She was, of course, with the governor who was in charge of the prison system and, law enforcement and so on and so forth. And after a prison break in a field, they would use the chain gangs and so on and so forth. Bonnie and Clyde rescuing a couple people, taking them in that prison escape. Ma Ferguson takes and goes after them with Frank Hamer and Manny Galt, and they are tasked of finding Bonnie and Clyde. And what that takes is, they have to go in, they have to pinpoint where they're going to eventually go. But because it takes so long to figure that out, the things they have to do, the methodical nature of their ideas and how they have to like find evidence that, could be missed. The people that are, the family members, they have to talk to them. They have to get them to cooperate. And they have to go to each town that Bonnie and Clyde have been at or have possibly visited. And they have to get the lay of the land. And early on, the character played by John Carroll Lynch, who plays Lee Simmons, has given the information to Frank Hamer, and he has pinpointed that they do their robberies in kind of a circle. They go to each edge of each state, so that when they go into the next state, they basically screw over the police. It makes it harder for them to capture because you have all those boundaries, the lines where the police force can't go and so on and so forth, and it makes it harder for these guys to get captured. It makes it easier for them to rob and steal and kill and so on and so forth. And this movie, in essence, is a fascinating one. It's a very slow paced movie. There's not like hardly any action in this movie. There's a lot of violence, which is kind of understandable for the time and the type of movie it is. But this movie hinges on if Woody Harrelson's character, Mandy Galt, and Kevin Costner's character, Frank Hamer, whether they will play well together, whether it's a good pairing for a movie. And it does, but it doesn't. They are actually very well cast. They do a nice job, but the movie is too long. It buckles under its own weight of just tediousness a lot of times. When you finally get to the point where you get to the eventual deaths of Bonnie and Clyde, it feels like you've gone through a marathon just to get there. And that's not to say that it's bad, but you've seen stuff like Open Range, you've seen stuff like Dances with Wolves. Sometimes these movies can get a little long in the tooth, and it's a problem that Netflix has a lot of times where the movies are good, not always, but it just feels like Netflix gives these guys a little too much range, a little too much, you know, free will to do what they want. And John Lee Hancock, who I love as a director, I love The Rookie, I love The Blind Side, I like The Founder a lot. It's one of my favorite movies that came out that year. Sometimes his pacing, sometimes his storytelling can get a little mind numbing. There are moments in The Blind Side where it feels like it repeats itself, and it does it a lot here. And sometimes even in The Founder, it's like, yeah, we get the point. Maybe you could cut a little bit out of this movie, but it doesn't make it a bad movie. There's some characters that are fun to watch. You know, the fact that Bonnie and Clyde are really not in the movie, but they're given some essence to their character. They're given a little more, like the Superman quality or the mythical figure quality, makes it more fascinating. And the two actors that are playing in Bonnie and Clyde, they're fine, and they do a nice job for what they're given, which is not a lot, but you know, this movie is written by John Fusco, who wrote stuff like Young Guns. He wrote Hidalgo. He wrote Spirit of the Cimarron. I love Hidalgo, but like I said, it's very long. It's also you can get tedious at a lot of points. It's the same thing. Young Guns is just a fun action film, so you can't fault that because I know a lot of people like that movie. But he apparently was very invested in this movie for a long time, you know, ever since 2003. Apparently, it was supposed to have Liam Neeson and Woody Harrelson working together as Frank Hamer and Manny Galt. And he knew Frank Hamer Jr., so he had a lot of investment in this movie. And you can tell that the level of quality writing really shows. It really shows that he was really invested with what he was doing. But like I said, you know, John Schwartzman's cinematography it's good. It's what you expect. You can clearly tell Thomas Newman is doing this music because it's very, very Irish. It's very, very. If you've ever seen Road to Perdition or The Shawshank Redemption, or even Finding Nemo, his score imprint is all over this movie, and it has that feel, and it makes the movie feel like it is because of his score. But I don't know. I just don't feel the movie really lived up to what I was expecting, and it's becoming a huge problem with Netflix movies. I'm not saying The Irishman is going to be bad. I hope it's really good. I have plenty of faith in Martin Scorsese, but I just think sometimes Netflix just gives a little bit not too much free reign, and it becomes a problem. And one other thing, this really feels like a TBS or TNT style movie, kind of like the stuff that Kevin Costner has done before. You know, with his, I think he did a TNT, or this could have been on AMC as well. And it actually could have been an interesting TV series, but jam packed into a 2 hour and 15-minute movie, it feels a little tedious for its own good. So, but that's my take on the Highwaymen. Thank you so much for watching. Let me know in the comments below if you watched this movie or plan on watching it. It has a lot of great actors in it, so I would recommend watching it just for that because they do a nice job. But otherwise, thank you so much for watching, and we'll see you on the next video. Peace. What's up, guys? Thank you so much for checking out Movie Emporium. I really appreciate it. If you want to, go ahead and hit the subscribe button. Hit the notification button and the bell at the top. Find out what's coming next for Movie Emporium. Also, check out these 2 videos. They're amazing. I think they're awesome. I think you'll enjoy them too. But otherwise, thank you so much for watching, guys. We'll see you next time.